What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Belfast. So I'm going to try to keep this quick, simple, and to the point. I've already reviewed this once, or at least tried to, and I just feel like I was all over the place, and I'm honestly not in the greatest of moods, but I still wanted to get a video out there for you guys to talk about this movie. I was meant to go see it yesterday and get this review out a little bit earlier, but it didn't happen. I ended up seeing Clifford on Wednesday, and so here we are now with Belfast. Directed by Kenneth Branagh, who's also a very well-known actor, and starring people like Jude Hill, James Dornan, Judi Dench, and many others. This movie focuses on a family in the late 60s as there's a bunch of turmoil kind of going on amongst the people. We see that the Protestants are chasing out specific Catholic families, or the Catholic families in general is what I should say, and yeah, we kind of see this bit of turmoil between the Protestants and the Catholics. That's essentially what this movie is all about, but beyond that, it's a family drama that hones in on this family that's dealing with this whole situation and how their life is affected by the world around them. Meanwhile, the family is trying to figure out what they should do. Should they stay? Should they leave? Who are they going to leave behind? Who's going to come with them? And that's kind of the battle that we see our characters go through over the course of the film. The film takes place in Belfast, Ireland, hence the title. And yeah, what I'll say right out of the gate about this film is that I wasn't in love with the film. I wasn't absolutely crazy about it, but there was a lot about this film to definitely praise. And this is the first of the Oscar baity or Oscar talked films that I've actually gotten around to seeing just yet. Of course, there's been a lot of great films this year that have had some discussion around it, but if you're a big movie buff, you know that the later portion of the year typically is when a lot of the Oscar films start to come out, a lot of the films that are going for that prestige feel and vibe to definitely get the eyes of the Academy onto their film. And so yeah, this is the first of those films that I've actually gotten around to checking out just yet. And yeah, overall what I think about this movie is that I think it's an incredibly well acted, well put together film. The cinematography, the feel, the look, the vibe, the fact that they went with this stylistic approach of having majority of the film being in black and white with moments of color to really highlight these small moments. A film that also feels like it's kind of, you know, calling back to old school filmmaking and old school films. There are little moments and references and nods that definitely, you know, hint at that. So on that level, I really enjoyed the film. I found it to be a very well put together film. The performances, the look, the feel, the vibe, the period piece element of it, the costume design, everything about that I thought was really solid. It's definitely got that artsy feel and glaze over the film. And, you know, on a technical side of things, that definitely works. But ultimately, I've said it here on the channel before, the worst thing a movie can be for me is boring. And though this film is not boring outright, I just wasn't absolutely engaged in everything and everyone in this film. But ultimately, this film just didn't have a story that I was absolutely engaged in and just captivated by. You know, it definitely had elements that definitely made me think. There was definitely elements about this in this time, in this world at this time, that was definitely tragic and, you know, kind of just shows the realities of the sadness that a lot of people had to deal with at that time. But ultimately, outside of the technical elements that really made this film look and feel and sound amazing, the story just didn't really grip me. I wasn't absolutely crazy about it. When I saw that this film had a great score with both critics and audiences, I was very excited to check it out. After having seen it, there just really wasn't much for me to ever say that I would rewatch this film. With that said, it is an incredibly well-made film, so I can see people watching this movie and really enjoying it. I think it's very much going to depend on the individual. This isn't a film that I can feel I can give a full recommendation for to absolutely anybody. This is a movie that I think it's going to kind of depend on your sensibilities and what you're into when it comes to film. If you guys have seen the trailer for this movie and it seems intriguing to you, then you may enjoy it. But honestly, I wasn't blown away by the trailer, but I was intrigued because of the cast and the fact that it looked like it was going to be a pretty artsy film. And after seeing it, yeah, I can definitely praise all the technical elements, but it isn't a story and a group of characters that I'm really captivated to see again after watching this movie. I don't necessarily want to rewatch this movie, can't really see myself rewatching this film, and I won't be surprised if this film is nominated for certain things. It just feels like that kind of movie that would get some nominations, but it's not really a story that I was really ultimately captivated by. I think that they could have done a lot more with this movie in terms of experience expanding the characters and maybe telling a more streamlined narrative, but we're consistently bouncing around to different times, and maybe it's a couple weeks between the last scene and this scene, or maybe a week or so. It just kind of is consistently bouncing around, and it kind of feels a lot of times like we're just kind of watching these characters do things. And where this movie really shined for me were the small little character moments between family members. Those moments are where the characters really shined for me, and that's where the story really shined for me as well. Beyond that, I just wasn't captivated by the overall narrative. However, I do want to praise, again, all those things I said: the music, the look, the feel, the vibe, the cinematography, the costume design. And the main thing I definitely want to praise about this movie, without a doubt, are the performances. So yeah, if you guys check out Belfast, I don't think it's a terrible watch. I don't think it's a waste of your time, but I don't think it's going to work for everybody. So I think it's very important to go into this movie knowing what you're going to see and whether or not that's going to work for you. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up my thoughts right here. Big thanks to you guys for watching. Please hit that like button, comment your thoughts, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.